Hi guys, Jay Smith here, down at Bury Golf Range in Suffolk. Ping G425 fairway time. I've got the 3-wood and it's the Max. Now they do an SF Tech version as well, but if you guys have seen my driver SF Tech video, card up there, you'll see necessarily probably not any point in me really doing the SF Tech because all it's going to do is go to the left. So the SF Tech, both the driver and the fairway wood, is going to be an interesting thing when it comes to the slicers, because that's definitely going to take curvature off the golf ball. So, the Max. Now, this, as I say, is the 3. It's in a 14.5 degree standard loft, but it has got the adjustable neck, and the adjustable neck will go 1 degree and 1.5 in both directions. So you can have a 14.5 go down to 13, and then also up to 16 as well. Now, flat options, because they're quite up, yeah, down there, have a little look. So, there's some visual parts when it comes to the change for this year over the 410, and we'll talk about it first. Down by the golf ball, gone has the turbulation, and in come has the 3 dots. Now, they're saying the 3 dots help frame necessarily where the ball needs to be. I personally, it took a long time for a lot of people to get round the turbulators idea. I quite liked it. It framed it perfectly. But Ping is saying necessarily that there's no point in having the turbulation when it comes to the fairway wood and the hybrid, because it doesn't really add anything to clubhead speed, etc. So I suppose they take weight, so they might as well use that elsewhere. Let's give it a hit so we can actually see how it feels. It's a little pushy right, but again, that's what I generally like to see. I like to see a flight move off to the right slightly because it gains a bit more height and stop and all that lot, which is good. But the sound is different. So I've just done the driver videos and there is a difference in those. You've got the LS Tech with the most powerful sound. You've got the Max and the SF Tech driver, a little bit more hollow. This goes down more so towards the LS Tech. I prefer this. I don't necessarily anything sounding too hollow, but this has got a nice, solid feel to it. Underneath, this little weight, it's a tungsten mass. Now, they seem to be getting bigger and heavier every single year. I suppose them getting rid of the old turbulators or allow them to put that weight somewhere else, and that's in that tungsten weight at the back. But it's supposed to be even more helpful than before. So they've got a new face as well for this year. And it wraps around the whole entire like perimeter of the crown and sole. It kind of, they say it's the wraparound face. They're saying it basically allows the whole thing to flex, get a bit more ball speed, spin consistency. That little thing has been banded around a few times. Will it really? I don't know. We'd have to do it over a large data set to find out if there's much difference when it comes to the consistency of spin. But it is quite a satisfying club to hit. I mean, it's not overly loud, but it is a nice feeling. It's by far my favourite when it comes to the sounds of all the Ping so far, that with the LS Tech. It does feel to me really long. Now, I'm used to a slightly shorter shafted 3-wood. And I've done some testing already with this, and I can get the clubhead speed on this really quick. For a 3-wood, really quick. I'm talking 110 mile an hour really quick. And I wondered necessarily why, because generally speaking, Pings, really heavy head, generally speaking, and when it comes to drivers especially, because they want maximum forgiveness. This swing weight's just a fraction under D1, which means the head feels really light. And when it comes to, hitting already, just a little bit of testing just before coming out and doing some filming, this is moving fast. I mean, I do like it. I do like it. The problem for me, I believe it goes to that way. I mean, it's a bomber's 3-wood, this is. I might have to do, I'll do 2 different data sets, because obviously it does come in a changeable neck. That changeable neck will mean I can go from 14.5 at the moment into what I would have to gain would be as up as much as it goes. Because this, it's long. I wouldn't say I'm concerned over the flight, but for me necessarily, I think it goes forward too much and not necessarily high enough with enough stop. But right, let's go hit this in the custom fitting studio a load of times with premium golf balls, not range balls. And let's go see how well this thing does. So guys, now in the custom fitting studio, after hitting a load of shots with the Ping G425 Fairway Wood 3, I've done two different data sets, one at 14.5 degrees, the standard loft, and then one at max loft. So I normally, with a 3 wood, because I want as much height as I possibly can with as much stop as I possibly can at the other end, I just whack the loft as high up as it goes to try and get it launching in the air. I can then obviously change flight if I need to, but my standard, I want it as high as I can get. So my normal would be just to whack it up. So I've done the first data set as I would do every fairway wood, max loft for me. So ball speed, 151.1, launching 12 degrees, spinning at 3.3, which is not bad. As fairway woods go, generally speaking, you're looking at 3,000 is the normal. Anything up past that, and I'm getting extra height, and I'm liking that. So it's going 35 yards in the air, which is okay, and then on average it's standing at 42.1. 42.1 is quite, between 40 and 45 degrees, it's going to stop depending on the green. At 45 degrees plus, within reason, it will stop on nearly any green. Anything under 40, and it's going to have to be a very, very soft green to stop. Okay, it is going 246 yards carry, so it's not short by no stretch of the imagination. The problem is, I think it is a little bit too long, because if, for me, and this is just for me, you guys, you'll have to test yourself. I can only report back on how I see this from my perspective. I would like to see this spin a fraction more, and hopefully it would climb a couple of yards higher and then descend a bit steeper, personally, especially in its highest loft setting. But going 246 carry, yeah, that's out there. Right, so let's go to the clubhead speed data, all that lot, so you can actually see. As I said before, this fairway wood is a D1, or just slightly under D1 swing weight. So the head feels really, really light. Unlike when it comes to the drivers, where the heads are very, very heavy, and the fact that obviously got counterbalance shafts and stuff like that, these heads on the fairway woods you don't have that same interaction. So at full length, at 43 inches, I like them having a 5 wood length, which is 42.5, so it's half an inch. But on average, 108.2, so it's not exactly what you call slow. I mean, my normal effort is, for a ping, I would expect to be 105, but this 108. Yeah, that's getting out there. 0.9 down, 2 across, 1 slightly open. Again, I like to see that slight movement out to the right to try and gain that functional control. And then 7 mil toe, 7 mil low on average. But I did another data set, which is going to be an interesting one. Let's just talk about the last one on this first data set first. You can see by the ball data, the last one carried 264. On average, it was nearly, it's 18 yards longer than average. Because I basically decided that I wanted to see if I could funk delivery to try and get the most out of it. So if I needed a shot on the golf course where I need to push it, can I push it an extra bit? And yeah, nearly 20 extra by me changing dynamics. So this club's got a little bit of workability, if you want to call it that. But again, that is definitely down to the skill of the golfer, and obviously with the equipment is able to do it. Yeah. So I did another data set where I just went out to the max. It is a G425 Fairway Max. So I put the loft down to standard, to normal 14.5 degrees, and then give it a hit. So we went from ball speed from 151 to 153.8, so we've gained ball speed straight away. Launch has remained very, very similar, which is handy, but spin has come down. And that's going to be because of the lofts come down. I would change dynamics very, very slightly, swing dynamics very slightly to try and optimize this, because I still want to try and get as much height as I possibly can do. And talk about height, it's going up there 34, so fractionally short of what the one with obviously cranked loft up. But then it's obviously descent angle at 40.2, so we're now starting to get a bit more shallower. But the carry has gone to 257. 257. And there is one there at 270. 270 yards carry. There is a lot of people that would take that carry from their driver. This thing is potentially monstrous. My only issue is for me is it doesn't spin quite enough, so it doesn't quite have the functionality that I want. I want to have the availability in a 3-wood to, if I want to, knock the loft down or to standard or whatever it be and have a bomber. And this one bombs probably better than most. If not, there's very few fairway woods that are going to get close to this when it comes to all-out bombability. But I still want the functionality when it comes to getting the loft and adding as much as I can do to try and get as much height and stop if I need that from my 3-wood. Let's just go over to the club data for it. So 109.1, so it's within a mile an hour of the previous one. I'm 0.3 up now rather than a fraction down because I'm trying to maximize launch. 0.4, 0.2, and 8mm toe, 5mm low. So the strike is not much out. If you think, I think I was 7 and 7, which is 14. 8 and 5, it's 13. So gross, I'm only 1 mile an hour, 1 millimeter, sorry, out. But 270 yards. This is a bomber. Let's go to the compare screen so you can actually see the difference between the two. You can see there by the dispersion rings, yes, I am, my dispersion gets worse when I start putting the loft to 14.5 and obviously get that extra distance. With less loft becomes more dispersion. That's D-plane, you can't help that. That will naturally happen. You just got to make sure that the dispersion rings, when you test, they are consistent for what you want to see. Out of those, I would go get, if I had the 425 3-wood in my bag, I would get the loft and go up as high as I could do because I like the smaller dispersion ring, I like the higher flight, and also like the more controlled descent into a green. So, again, guys, you've got to get tested. When it comes to custom fitting, you must make sure you get custom fit for these. There is so many different options available now when it comes to custom fitting. In shaft changes of weight and everything else, the differences can be huge. Not to mention necessarily how you change on the neck sleeve. You've got flat settings, you've got more upright settings, you've got face changing settings as well as you change the lofts. So there is up to different ways that you can get these to suit your game, and also come in an SF Tech head as well for the people which has an unhealthy relationship with the right hand side of the golf course for a right hander, left for a left. Yeah, so anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, give the old like button down there, it's a tick. Go on, give it a click. And next to it, red button, subscribe. If you can click that one, that'd be great. And next to that one, little bell icon. That little one there, that'll let you know next time I upload another video. Hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.